If you wish for good health, one must first ask, are you ready to do away with the reasons for your illness? Good health is about what you think and feel.
Hello, this is Simon at Mr. and Mrs. Know-How. Welcome back. This is the second part of our info reel called How to Be Positive About Illness and Recovery. And we're going to be speaking about how do we manage when we're not feeling well, when we're ill. Are you somebody who is very, very positive about it and takes an active role in your treatment and how you get better? Or are you somebody who is negative about being ill? So you either deny being ill or try and ignore it and have nothing to do trying to get help. The second thing that we're going to be talking about, positive language, how to change your mindset in order to deal with your illness, to deal with your recovery, to manage all the things that you're going through in a positive way. It's very, very powerful, the way that you use language for yourself.
Whatever you hold in your mind on a consistent basis is exactly what you'll experience in your life.
To start off the first part of this info reel, I'd like to make an admission to you. I'm going to be completely honest here. Before I started on this wonderful road of sobriety, I didn't actually give a damn about my health. I thought I did because I went to the gym 3 or 4 times a week, but that wasn't really a conscientious, honest attempt at managing my health. It was just about looking good. It was just all cosmetic. And so, because I didn't actually take real responsibility, whether it's partial or full responsibility for my health, it laid a foundation for repeated illnesses which I didn't really take into account would impact on my future life. I'd like to ask, or I'd even like to challenge some of you, if not all of you out there, do you take full responsibility for the way you manage your health? And if not, why not? And if you don't take responsibility for your health, for your well-being, then you won't really understand why you're ill. You certainly won't understand why there's a repetition of either the same illness or different types of illnesses over the years. And it's a domino effect. If you don't actually understand that, then you won't necessarily recognize the symptoms. You certainly won't recognize the possibility of repeated patterns of behavior that could have led to those symptoms. And then you won't seek adequate help. And without seeking adequate help, you won't get the treatment you need, and or you won't necessarily know how to manage the treatment that's on offer. Like what happened with me, when it gets more serious and there's possibly a point of no return, you won't be able to manage your condition in the future. And there's a good chance that you won't accept that there's been causal behavior on your behalf that has led to the illness that you're experiencing. Another thing that can have a big effect on the way that you deal with your health is the language that you use. I mean, using negative language about yourself and your health leads to an expectation of illness. What do I mean by negative language? So say, for instance, when you're not feeling very well, you say, it's impossible to get better. I can't deal with this. I can't cope with this. I feel sick all the time. I'm knackered. I'm tired. This is ridiculous. I don't believe or I don't understand why I always get ill like this. I'm depressed. I'm anxious. It makes me sad. This is a disaster. And what that actually does is that it reflects and dictates whether you're going to be able to deal with your illness, understand it, manage it, and possibly even get away from always experiencing these type of illnesses that you've experienced before. Now, having this negative mindset about my health certainly led me to be vulnerable to all different types of maladies. And what it did is that it affected the way that I actually felt about myself. Not only was I a person susceptible to illness, but if I was getting ill so much, then obviously I thought I was a weak person. And it certainly affected the way that I presented myself to other people and the rest of the world. So if there's anyone out there who actually relates to what I'm saying, now's the time for you to actually say, hold on a second. I'm not taking responsibility for my health. I'm not taking responsibility for the way that I manage my life. There is a way out. I don't have to be ill all the time. And now is the time to actually make those changes. And if you make these changes, you will actually see and notice a remarkable difference in the quality of your life.
Your attitude, not your aptitude, will determine your altitude.
So, in the first part of our info reel, we've been talking about whether in fact we manage our health in a positive or negative way, and how it's very, very important to back that up with the type of language that we use. So do you actually think that you are somebody who does manage your health in a positive or negative way? And if it's actually in a negative way, what's the type of language that you use? It might not be a bad idea to actually sit down and think about this, and possibly even write down, if you can remember, different times when you've been ill and what you've actually done to manage it, whether you've actually recognized the symptoms, whether you've gone for help, whether it's something that you ignore or deny. It won't be such a bad idea to do that. If you are somebody who's decided that in fact you do manage your health with a negative mindset, it might not be a bad idea to also consider how it's affecting you. Whether in fact it's something which you choose to ignore and you don't think it has a big impact on your life, or whether in fact it's a lot stronger and more toxic than you ever realized. But if you were to turn that mindset around from the negative to the positive about your health and well-being, then I know for sure that you'll see the evidence of how well the quality of your life will improve, and it will be a lot more stronger and powerful than when you were thinking in a negative way about yourself and your health. It's all about belief. And one of the ways that we can, and I'm going to say it, improve on our belief mechanisms is by the language we use. Because in the end, our beliefs and attitudes affect the type of language that we do use. And the type of language we use affects our attitudes and beliefs. So in order for our personality traits and attitudes to change, we need to radically change the type of language that we're thinking and using. So let me ask you another question. If you are a negative person, just think about your day. How many catastrophic or self-defeating thoughts do you have during that day? And how does your language or the words and phrases that you use reflect that? But if you were to change it around and every day use language that actually subjugates those words, so you're not using those negative words anymore or those negative thoughts. So if you were to use a positive language on a daily basis, then eventually those negative thoughts and words and phrases that you seem to love using so much will slowly disappear. Now, my experience in hospital recently was a living embodiment of this. You're going to be hearing a lot of really positive words, like confidence, like love, like assertiveness, like patience and acceptance, faith, belief, gratitude, humility. All of these words which sometimes you may not actually associate with going into hospital. However, These are words, these are very real thoughts that I had to enable me to get through a very topsy-turvy, helter-skelter period in my life. And I'm actually, as I said before, I'm a living embodiment that these words, these concepts, these ideas do work. Because if I listened to the silly, stupid, negative little voices in my head, no way would I have been able to have got over what I experienced as quickly and as well as I did. In fact, it would have been catastrophic.
I know what I bring to the table because I made that damn table.
In the third and final part of these info reels, How to Be Positive About Illness and Recovery, which is going to be broadcast very soon, I'll be talking about my experiences at hospital and recovery and how I've dealt with that. So hopefully you enjoyed this latest instalment and see you soon. Bye bye for now.